Well, welcome to All About the Girls. Tell us, so for those that have never heard the name Ivy Ford, which is probably few and far between those that might have been hiding under a rock.
Oh, man.
Tell us about who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
I'm a musician. They call me the blues kitten, Chicago blues kitten. But
Blues kitten.
Yeah, but these days I'm like, whatever city I'm in, that's
all of the blues kitten.
Yeah. So I primarily play guitar in front and sing for my own band, which is primarily a trio, but we mix it up here and there. I'm very fortunate that I do music full time and have been very much embraced, accepted, and supported in like the Chicago blues scene, because it's vast, but it's very tight at the same time, and the pool of musicians, entertainers, and everyone in that business is really like first class. So I remember like before I was playing like full time, I'd see musicians and bands and meet people and think, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And now they kind of they say the same thing about me. So it's like, oh man,
that's gotta
I'm
feel
like one
so
of the cool
good.
kids. One of the cool kids, yeah.
Yes, you've earned it for sure.
Oh, thank you.
For
So
sure.
yeah, it's cool. It's a cool thing. I still sometimes I'm like, wait, is this for real? Is this real life for real?
This is what I get to wake up to every day.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you've been playing since you were very, very young.
Yeah.
I believe it's piano, sax, drums, bass, and regular guitar.
Yep. Yeah.
And from what I read, all self-taught?
Yeah, so
How the heck did you do that?
So I took, I was in band, like in junior high and high school and stuff, where I played saxophone. And then I did take a few piano lessons when I was about 9 or 10 years old. And I'm just situationally, we moved or something like that, so I wasn't taking them anymore. But I still loved it, so I kind of just, went with it. But guitar, it's funny because a lot of times people, they know me for playing guitar, like electric guitar and stuff. And a lot of times they'll say like, oh, so when I hear like you picked up piano too. And I say, actually, piano is the longest instrument I've been playing. I said the guitar thing, I'm 28 now. I picked up guitar when I was about 20, 21.
Okay.
And that was like solely YouTube self-taught stuff like that. Yeah.
7 years later, and you're so young. So to have that under your belt at so young is so incredible.
Oh, thanks.
And bass, I think both guitar and bass are really hard to learn in general, more or less self-taught.
Yeah,
how is
it's funny because I can't remember, especially with electric guitar, specifically electric guitar. I really don't remember the like pinnacle point or pivotal point or whatever where it was, okay, I'm just learning to like, I'm a guitar player. I still, even now, I'll be like, I play guitar. I'm not a guitar player. It's weird.
It's
weird. Yeah. And so I don't really know, because people ask me, they're like, when did that happen? And I'm like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't necessarily remember a time where like I didn't play guitar necessarily, but I definitely don't remember like, oh yeah, this was it. Now I'm a guitar player.
It's that it's been around so long, been a part of
and I do it so often now, knock on wood, that means I'm working, so it's good.
Yes.
That it's just, it's like second nature. And bass guitar, funny story, bass guitar, how I picked that up. A good friend of mine, he's retired now, but he's in the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame for electric guitar, specifically slide guitar. His name's J.B. Ritchie. And we were out when I was like 21, 22. I had met him doing a jam on the North Shore in Illinois. And we just hit it off real well. And he was like, hey, if you ever want to come out to one of my shows, like House of Blues or Buddy Guys, whatever, I'd love you to come on out, sit in. And I don't even think I was playing guitar really that much then. But anyways, we grown to be great friends. And we were out, I think he played at Buddy Guys or something. And afterward, we went to Kingston Mines, which is open till like 4 o'clock in the morning. So we finished up at Buddy Guys. We finished up at Buddy's at like midnight, 1 o'clock, and went over to Kingston Mines. I forget who was playing. He was driving, so I was being relaxed,
Having adult beverages.
yeah,
possibly.
exactly. And we were in the back of the club talking, and my like smart aleck self, I was like, I think I could probably play bass. I mean, I come to all your shows anyway. I might as well just be a bass player. Might as well. And like,
And I have decided.
exactly. That's like exactly what I said. And I think it was a couple days later, he was like, "Yo, so I got rid of my other bass player. He had to do other stuff anyway. But I got shows, so you're a bass player now." And I was like, "Oh man!" And that's how that happened.
And that's really how you
and I
Wow.
took to it kind of like a fish to water. And I don't get to play bass guitar too often now, which is like a shame because I love it.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I
Your
do.
heart's in it.
Yes. So that's how that happened. And that's
Wow.
another thing I don't really know because I didn't even like YouTube stuff with bass guitar. I just was like, let me wing it.
Really?
But I tell
How
folks,
incredible.
I tell folks that you be amazed about what you can do when you don't want to make a fool out of yourself.
Well,
either.
yeah, because now you've got a deadline and you can't look
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah, exactly.
You gotta look really good. You got a time limit. Let's go.
So it worked out, and it's funny because I didn't think this was a thing, but I guess it is. And I guess if I think about it in depth, okay. A lot of bass players have a hard time singing and playing bass at the same time. I don't know what it is. It's a weird, stand on one foot, rub your belly, tap your head thing.
Like you're good
coordination.
at it.
Yeah, and I can sing and play.
And some of the pictures, as everyone will see when they go Google you, if they've
Yeah.
never heard of you, you are like singing, playing the bass, jumping in the air.
Oh, yeah,
rocking
I'm
out,
crazy.
Like just working the entire stage.
I don't like to go to the gym, so I get my cardio.
Yeah,
on the
that's
stage.
for sure. You
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
cardio.
yeah.
You are
Mhm.
moving.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Chicago Blues Kitchen. Or kitchen.
That's all right. There was, I think, actually Chicago.
I think there is. Maybe that's why I said.
Yeah.
So nickname Chicago Blues Kitten.
Yeah.
Now it's probably just Blues Kitten because you are everywhere. How did that kind of come about, and why blues? What pulled you into the blues scene? And we'll talk a little later about how young it was. But how did you get into blues?
I was, in hindsight, I've always dug blues and roots music, and my father was actually a professional bass player. He's originally his family's originally from Mississippi,
Okay.
but he grew up actually in Gary. So
awesome.
not too far from here.
Region.
And so he was actually a professional bass player, and was always into the church and things like that too, which church music and blues and roots, it's all relative.
Super
It's
intertwined.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so my mom, even though she's not a musician or doesn't sing or anything, she's like, I wish I did because I have no fear. But she's always been a huge fan of music, all kinds of music, but specifically soul, R&B, blues, and stuff like that. So I, in a sense, that way was around it a lot. And I guess kind of like an osmosis thing, so to speak. And then I guess as far as like open jams go and things like that, when I was a little bit older, a lot of open jams, they do like classic rock and blues. That's typically, and I just kind of fell into it, and I like it. I'm very kindred to it.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, like I said, it's like I don't really think about it. It just is how it happened. And yeah, so as far as the blues, it's cliche. Like I didn't choose the blues chose me. But it
sounds
did.
Like it's very real.
It did,
Yeah,
and then it's funny.
So much of your history.
Yeah, and then it's funny because like with Facebook and stuff, they get like the memories things you can look back.
Yep.
And I saw something not too long ago, and it was like from 12 years ago. And I had posted, I was like 16, 15, 16.
Okay.
And I posted on Facebook, oh, I'm so excited. I got Buddy Guy's album, Rhythm and Blues. And like, I was all about that blues life, which I don't remember.
At 16, 15, 16 years
I don't
old.
remember like being that. I mean, again, I liked it, but I didn't realize like I was such a like gung-ho fan, and specifically Buddy Guy, which is funny because if you would have told me then, being a Buddy Guy fan, what my life would be like now, entwined with Buddy Guy and Legends. I wouldn't have believed you.
Oh my gosh, no kidding.
So that's it. Just I don't know. It just kind of I fell into it, and like I say, if the shoe fits, wear it, and it does. And then the Blues Kitten name. So if you talk to not just blues musicians, but mostly. We're like, yo, this cat over there, like, yeah, that cat, he's a guitar player, and that's kind of, it's a very like ongoing lingo. And me being so young, even, a few years ago even, it was like, oh, like he's like a little kitten type of thing. And so it was kind of a joke, and someone else had said it to me. And I was like, yeah, very funny, haha. But then it kind of stuck. And I think like fans and stuff were saying, hey, I heard like you're like a blues kitten. And it just said, hey.
And it's there. I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my faves.
Yeah, I like it. I posted on my social media pages, I just got this custom blues kitten ring. Right?
Blues kitten ring.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I ordered it like a month ago and it came in the mail the other day. I was like, it's here. It's here. Finally. I was like the dad from Christmas Story won his prize. It's a prize. It's here.
It's a prize.
With the with the leg lamp. The lamp in the window.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh, I love that.
So it's for real now. I got it.
You are
it's
officially blues kitten. The blues kitten.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've talked a little bit about two people that I was going to mention as well, Buddy Guy and JB Ritchie. So those seem to be some really impactful people in your life. Yeah. Can you touch on those two and then touch on, do you have any women in your life? This podcast is all about women empowerment.
Heck yeah.
Do you have any women that have impacted you similarly?
Sure. So like I said, JB Ritchie, he's been around forever. He actually used, aside from being a like fantastic guitar player and things like that, he actually used to do, he was a sound engineer, one for the studio. It's no longer there in Libertyville, Illinois. It used to be called, what was it called? I think it was called Rainbow Bridge, I think. Yeah. And it was in the basement. It's a strip mall now in Libertyville. But it was in the basement, and he used to be a sound engineer there. But he also did live sound for a lot of people. If I'm not mistaken, at one point, I don't know how it happened, but I think he was actually doing live sound mixing for a show of Muddy Waters.
Oh,
actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So, all
right, audience, Google that. Tell us.
So he, and he started.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and he started when he, was a kid, teenager, 20s and stuff like that. And like I said, when I met him at an open jam that he was running at the time, it was just, he was like, I think you're really good, and I like your work ethic and things like that. And he kind of showed me the ropes a little bit. And especially, I had been to Chicago naturally a few times, but it was definitely a different perspective going to certain blues clubs and things with him because everyone knew him, vice versa. And it was definitely, a really great he was a great liaison for me to meet a lot of people, including, I'm trying to think I don't know if it was like Halloween time. Or no, it was October. He had Buddy Guy. JB had a show in early October on his birthday, and I came out for that. And then I think a week or so afterward, his friend and now my friend too, Joe Moss, who's also, I believe, Chicago Blues Hall of Fame artist, and he's brother of Nick Moss, who's also a big blues guy. Yeah. JB invited me to go out and see Joe Moss and stuff, and Joe let me sit in, and I played the guitar and sang and whatnot. And they video and they archive all their shows there. And so, I had a gay old time, tore it up, Yeah. And so that was cool. And it's funny because, side note, Joe Moss's old bass player, I had met from a whole different situation. I didn't know he played with Joe.
Oh, wow.
6 degrees separation.
Worlds collide. Yeah, exactly.
So I sat in with Joe Moss, played or whatever, and then I got a Halloween night at Buddy Guy's Legends. They do a big Halloween bash, and it was, I think JB might have was the opener for New Blue Band, which New Blue Band is fronted by Carlise Guy, which is one of Buddy Guy's daughters. And so I'd come out, and I used to bleach my hair like Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
So naturally, I went as Marilyn Monroe for Halloween.
Of course.
And they called me upstairs, to the office, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And I met Mark Maddox, who's also a phenomenal guitar player, but also does a lot of the booking for Buddy Guy's Legends. And I met him and talked to him that night, and it, I felt like it was a scene from like The Godfather or something.
Yeah.
Because I went upstairs to the office, and I'm seeing some of Buddy Guy's guitar, literally Buddy Guy's guitars, like in the other room that are being worked on. Some of his like awards and trophies that are on it's pinch me,
Yeah.
And so I met Mark, talked a little bit. It was great. And then a couple weeks after that, I got a phone call from Mark. And I didn't like put two and two together. And I got real nervous because they're like, hey, is this the night before? And I said, yeah. They're like, hey, it's so-and-so from Buddy Guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I not close my tab out or something?
Oh, what did I do?
Yeah. And so he goes, hey, he goes, I saw a video of you. And I was like, you did? Oh,
What was I doing?
Exactly. And he goes, do you have your own band? I said, yeah. Yeah, I said, I do. And he goes, well, we need an opener. Here's the date. It was Sunday, January 11th. Now, mind you, I had no knowledge of Buddy Guy's annual residency at his club, which is every weekend in January. I didn't know that, okay?
So you're just thinking you're opening up at the club.
Yeah, on a Sunday, whatever, which that in itself is like crazy.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, okay, I'll be, what time? I didn't ask what the money was.
I don't care about
I was like,
anything.
I'll be there. And then right before, I hung up the phone, which I'm like trying to act cool on the phone. On the inside, though, I'm like, whoa.
Fireworks.
Yeah. And so right before I hung up the phone, I said, well, it's Mr. Maddox. I don't need to know, but who am I opening for? He goes, oh, you're opening up for Buddy. And I was like,
I'm dead.
Okay, cool, right on. Click. Oh my God, and so I called my mom. I was like, you'll never believe this. And,
all the curse words.
Exactly. So it was at 2015, I think, January 11th, Sunday, 2015.
And 2015 would have put you at what age?
I think I had just turned 22.
Goodness
I think so.
Gracious.
21 or 22. And it was really cool too, that show, it was like so magical. And like, so like, it just kept, the factor just kept getting better because one, half of the club, and it's like people like plan this stuff from all over the world in advance, a year or whatever in advance, or they'll, because it's like open seating or whatever, unless we get VIP tables, which is very few. So like people say the club don't open up till like, I think 5 or 6 at night. They're there at like noon, lined up like, a new video game is coming out at Best Buy.
Incredible.
And so it was really neat because half the club was like old teachers of mine that I hadn't like talked to in forever. Kids that I went to school with.
Like people you knew that are coming to see you.
I didn't know that they were coming until I got there and I was like, whoa, so that was really neat. Aside from the fact that, hey, I'm here. Playing at Buddy Guys in general is awesome, but I'm playing here in January for Buddy Guy. Oh man,
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
and so nervous.
Exactly.
Please don't mess this up.
Right. And then they ended up doing, it was really cool. They did like an artist interview with me earlier in the night on stage, and I got to do some acoustic stuff, which was really neat. And did that, and then we were upstairs in the green room, one of the green rooms, which the one next door to us is Buddy who's in the band.
Oh
so
my gosh.
like
you're like knocking on the wall.
Wow, man, just crazy.
Can I hear them?
Absolutely crazy.
It is crazy.
I also got my good friend now, brother John Katke, who is a fantastic keyboardist, guitar player, singer, blues artist. Has played with the greats too. He actually, I'd asked him, hey, do you mind playing keys for my set? And he said, of course, let's do it. So that, and it like, whoa, you're gonna play it with me? Oh man, so there was that, and then actually opening up for Buddy Guy, doing our set, kicking butt, taking names. And then when Buddy did his show or his set or whatever, I was up in front. They let me sit like on one of the VIP tables with a big to-do from Brazil, actually. And he said, I love your show. Come, sit with me. So now I'm literally.
You're like, what is this like?
I'm like this distance from Buddy Guy. He's on stage. I'm like, He threw me one of his guitar picks. It was amazing.
Oh God.
I was like,
you have it. It's framed.
Right. And then he did his, his shtick where he goes off stage and is walking through the crowd, and one of the security guys, who now, again, really good friend of mine. Now, he grabs me, but he's like, Ivy, come back. I'm like, oh, wait, where are we going? He goes, come up to the front, because Buddy's coming up to the front to sing and play. Come up here. And so he pulls me to the front of the club, and Buddy's there singing. And then Buddy hands me over the mic. So now I'm singing with Buddy Guy. Like, oh my God. There's pictures out there in my face. Inside, I'm just like, oh my God. So there was that. And then it was cool because like a little just, like I said, the facets of awesomeness, just never ended.
The best night ever.
Yeah. And so I ended up, for my show, I wore, and I still got it because it's the dress.
Yeah.
I had a fire engine red cocktail dress with a rhinestone choker. And again, I was bleaching my hair. So it was like white and I had a white flower. Well, Buddy Guy had the same color red suit and a white hat.
You guys look like a perfect couple.
I know. So people were like, did you plan that? I was like, no.
Someone did, but it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly. So it was
so
like,
perfect.
Like I said, talk about like a magical night, because it was. And that was probably my first real, like that was a career kicker.
Incredible
for sure.
night. Yeah.
I could,
and just probably a point where it really showed you like, what I'm getting into, I should be into.
This is it.
I deserve it. And this is exactly, that's why I love it so much too.
And it's funny because people say, you had to be like so nervous. I said, you know what? No. I mean, it was more like I was just excited.
So excited that you don't even have time to be nervous.
And there's, where now it depends on the show, but there's actually a stage door it's like right on the stage that Buddy Guy comes out of, or like big headliners come out of. And so when I did that show, there's a stairwell back there that leads to the green room, so that's where you get to the stage. And so I'm like, I call it like in the chute, because I'm like literally I'm behind the door. This is right before I'm about to go on, and my band was out there first, like playing music like from my entrance. So I'm behind the door, and there's memorabilia in the hallway on the walls and stuff. And I hear the MC like, yo, we got this great show, whatever. And it's like totally, pumping me up. Yeah, and I can hear it, and I'm like, it's wild. And he goes, give it up right before the band starts playing. I come out the door. It's like a big, crazy. Yeah. And then even more cool, if it could get any cooler, it was neat. That was the first time that Buddy Guy's Legends opened up the evening show for anyone under 21. And I think it was one of the first times they had like a full Sunday show, like with openers and things. And the Blues Kids Foundation, which is led by Fernando Jones, they had some of those kids and stuff, they had performed. So it was like, and they did it because, like I said, I had just turned 21 or 22 or something. And I was like one of the younger people that year, last few years that had played. So that too was really neat because, Yeah,
you're breaking out and you're getting to those younger crowds where blues has infamously been for the older crowds.
Right.
Now
so that, that was
kids.
that was really magical to be a part of. And it's funny because one of the gals that used to work the front desk, her name was Jessica Ruiz, it's funny because she was working the front desk, and a few years afterward, because since then I'm like, regular at Buddy's.
Yeah.
And since then she was always like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, this and the other. I'm like, no, girl, and she plays guitar too. She's like awfully shy, but I'm like, dude, you got this, And she was real kindred with Buddy being an employee and stuff like that there. And so it was funny because it was like 3 or 4 years after I had done that thing in 2015 that her and I think I must have done an opener set because I was there all night, but I didn't play all night. So her and I were sitting at the bar, shooting the breeze. And she goes, the first time I saw you, the first time I ever came to this club, I saw you. And I was like, what? And I thought she was a lot older. And she's like, no, I'm only whatever. I was like, wait a minute. How am I just finding this out now? How do you never told me this before? What the heck? Like her and I are like family now. Yeah. And I had no idea. And she goes, when I saw you play, that was what made me like feel like I had enough gumption to like start playing more myself. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm honored, So yeah, magic, man.
Pure magic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So obviously those folks are integral in your history.
Heck yeah.
it's just so impressive, so impactful immediately at such a young age. Who are some of those ladies that did?
Oh,
they
so
don't
the
have to be
biggest-
obviously career changing,
Right,
but who
so
affected you
The
positively?
biggest one, naturally, my mom, obviously.
Obviously.
You know, I'm very when I see, because I was doing a little bit of teaching, like really little time there. And at school, because a lot of the students that I had, they were like between like 8 and 12, and their parents, they bring them out to my shows now. So it's really neat. And I tell them all the time, I said, look, I said, you guys are great parents for the fact that you're so catering and so supportive of your kids want to do music and stuff.
Yep.
I said, because that's like half the battle in itself. I said, I was always very fortunate that my mom was never, and even more so now, not into the conventionalism of like society. So she's all about, you know, find your inner joy, what you like to do, and make it work. So that was really helpful that she's always been supportive. Actually, the first time I heard probably like a live band, she was bartending, and there was a house band. They played every Sunday. They were called The Real Deal. And the drummer band leader, who's the late Steve Rainey, was like, he man, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing half the things I do now. She goes, Ivy, put some lipstick on, dress nice, you're coming to work with mom today. And she goes, there's a band, you need to hear them. So she actually, she would take me like to the bars and stuff to go hear live music. And you know, sometimes some other parents be like, oh, you're taking your child to the, you know, and she's like, she's getting an education that, you know,
the
that
music
you can't,
scene like that. You can't find anything like that outside of a place with alcohol.
Right.
But like, that's where you can absorb so much of that.
So, you know, so that my mom is, and will always be like a huge asset to my career. And then my godmom, actually, she plays piano and saxophone. She's the reason why I wanted to pick up saxophone in junior high school. And
it was cool because she was doing it.
Heck yeah. And she never pursued it like professionally. She actually ironically is like in the car business, has been like for 30 plus years. Big though. Like, there's an acronym, the HBIC, which is man, she's like,
I keep saying I want that on my business card. Yeah, but
and she definitely, like, whatever she does, she's always been a go-getter, very like bossy, assertive, get stuff done, results now. And so she was like, so it's funny because I said my dad was a musician. I didn't grow up with him, and actually it's taken till probably like last maybe 3-4 years for me and him to like, we're cool now, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
So my godmom was actually a huge part of my life, and like a second parent, still is now, and was a great role model for doing whatever you want to do it well, and don't let someone tell you different. Yeah. She just happened to play music, you know.
So that kind of strung a chord with you.
Yeah. So so my mom and my godmom are huge influences.
Great.
And stuff like that. Now, when I think I was 19. Yeah, 19. So this is before Buddy Guys. But there was a club inside a bowling alley in Round Lake, Illinois, which Round Lake is like, it's like Podunk. Anyways.
Middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I was like kind of in the local scene here and there, and I got a phone call. I was like, hey, will you be an opener? I don't even know if the gig paid. I don't know. But I was like, we'll do it. And we opened up for Joanna Connor. Now, I am like embarrassed to say at the time, I didn't know nothing. So I didn't really know who she was. I knew that she was a big heavy hitter in Chicago. Another one of the greatest. She's a great regular guitar player, but her slide work, man. So she was probably first female band leader, guitarist, and stuff like that I saw live and got to meet. I talked to her a little bit then, but you know, I was like a kid, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You know, and it was funny because I opened up for her then. And I think it was like a year or two. It was 2 years, because it wasn't until I was 21 I could go to the clubs in Chicago, and I saw her play at Kingston Mines, which she's like a household name there, and I got to meet her there. Now since then, her and I we've been on shows together. She she has been a full-time musician since she was like in her 20s at least. Has two kids that are grown and doing great things. And I think she had her son at the same age that I had my daughter. So her and I, you know, especially when I was pregnant with my daughter and things like that. And then now, you know, being moms and whatnot, we definitely connected and, you know, and talk and correspond. And I definitely consider her, you know, inspiration. And as far as a fellow female guitar player and blues player and things like that, you know, she's it. You know, I've met there's a lot of great women singer, guitar players, other instrument. Like there's a lot of great ones out there, but I think Joanna Connor is probably the first that I got to like meet and work with.
Made that impact. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for that, like she's up there for me,
yes.
you know? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned the band, The Real Deal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is a bit of your start as well.
That's
so
my
it sounds
family.
Like your mom, yes. So it sounds like your mom introduced you to the band.
Yeah.
And then I think you started performing with the band.
I sure did. I think I was 13.
I read was 13. Yeah. What?
Yeah, I know.
So when you were talking about opening for people, you were so young.
Yeah, I used to say that I was like 17, gonna be 18 when I was like 12, 13. And it's funny because like I got pigtails on, like I'm real juvenile today looking, but like normally I am. But I normally like I always tend to look older, and all my friends are older. So just in context,
you kind of got that older soul,
yeah,
kind of sense.
So, but yeah, I was like 12, 13. My mom was bring me to the bars and whatever. And in Wisconsin too, even if there was an issue of age, Wisconsin has a law that you can, you know, as long as you're with an adult, you can pretty much be in any bar. I think you can even order a beer if your parents, you know. But I wasn't doing that. But
you were just hanging out in the bar.
I was just hanging out.
The music.
Exactly. So yeah, she that was the band that I saw. The Real Deal was the band that I saw at the bar that she was bartending at the time. Ironically, the keyboard player, Archie Parks, he used to play in the band that my dad played with way before I was even thought of. Back in the day. So like funny how things
circle.
And he didn't know, I didn't know. It came to, you know, it came to light a few years after type of thing. And there's been some other musicians that I've met that it was like, hey, you used to play with a guy named Vince, black guy bass player? Yeah, I'm his kid. What? I was like, I know, it's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so The Real Deal, which was put together by Steve Rainman Rainey, who's the drummer. He passed away, I think, about 2-3 years ago now. And then Alonzo Smith, a.k.a. Zoe, best friends, who was a bass player. They really, like, took me in. And whenever they played, I go out to see them. They would let me, you know, sit in and sing a couple songs. I think I only knew Chain of Fools. I think that was the only song I knew. And I think it was funny because the first time I think I sat in with them, I sang that. No, I lie. I didn't sing that. I sang Fallen by Alicia Keys. That's what it was.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was like fresh on the piano, so that was like
really
my jam.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. And it went over real well. So then Steve was like, what else are you going to sing? I was like, that's all I know. I need to know another song. And he was like, you need to have at least 2 or 3 prepared whenever you go out. First life lesson of the music business, which was amazing. Yeah. And then
but if you can get that lesson at 13 versus 25,
it's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was that. And then he knew I played keyboard. I say it loosely. But yeah, he hired me for a couple supper club gigs as like a keyboardist with someone else singing at 13, you know. But he, you know, in a really great way, he considered me just like one of the other musicians and held me to that same professional standard, which is amazing. Like that was I'm so thankful that he did because it taught me how to, you know, man up, show up and show out. Yeah. So, you know, so soon. So by the time I was going to Chicago, I could like hang a little bit, you know. But yeah, and then he was hiring me as a singer for a few things here and there, and then I didn't see them for a while. I always joke. So I'm like, I had high school. I had to go to school.
So guys, I have this thing called school.
Yeah.
I know,
so for a while, I wasn't seeing them too often. However, there was a couple gigs. There was one. I think I was a sophomore in high school, so I was like 15. And I was huge into theater, musical theater. I actually thought that's what I was going to get into for a career. That was the plan.
I can see that.
Yeah. And so it was a show in Kenosha at this place called Pazos. It's no longer that; it's something else. And I was a singer, and I said, I got my show, like my musical at school. It gets done, I think, at like 9. He's like, well, we start at 9:30, so that's fine. We'll just, we'll have someone else sing a tune or whatever before we get there. So I finished my show at school, the musical or whatever.
And sprint to your other show.
Literally, and I have like stage makeup on, all this stuff. I'm like baby wiping, trying to make it,
gosh.
And then I get to the club in Kenosha, and they were like, "Oh, like your ID?" Which again, I don't know why that was a thing because it's Wisconsin. But anyway, I was like, "I'm the singer," and they're like, "Oh, right upstairs. Go ahead." So that was like,
good thing.
Yeah. So I did do a few things with them when I was in high school. That was one. I also did a New Year's Eve gig with them. I think I was like 16 then, so I was a little bit older.
Barely allowed to stay up to midnight.
Exactly, yeah. And and then right after high school, kind of reconnected, because I had more free time and things like that. The real deal. And Steve Rainey specifically, that's that's my guy. I tell people, I'm like, if it wasn't for him, man, there's stuff that there's funny. There was this time, it was one of the first gigs he was going to hire me to be a singer, and we had a rehearsal at his house. And I was like, okay, cool, we're singing whatever. And or doing the song, I forget what it was. And he's like, stop, everyone stop. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm sitting there with the microphone, what did I do? And he's like, you need to direct us. You need to tell us what you want to do. I said, what do you mean? He goes, if you want us to bring it down, or make a stop or whatever, you let us know. I said, well, I don't like boss you around. I'm a kid. He's like, no, that's your job. We as the band are looking to you as the leader to tell us what you want. And I said, but I don't want, no, is Ivy, you're leading the band.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And it was most uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable because naturally, I mean, if your mama raised her right as a kid, you don't talk back to elders and stuff like that. So it really it took me a little bit to like get kind of comfortable, but that is one of the still to this day, that is the greatest piece of advice, and I tell that to other people, kids or even adults that want to get into whatever or sing an open jam. I say, you tell the band what you want to do. Know what you want to do. Because if you don't know what you want to do, they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's cool because actually even now, whether I'm sitting in with another band or filling in with another band or open jams or whatever, I've always been known for other musicians, like, I like playing. I don't mind playing with Ivy. I actually like it because she tells us what to do. She's so easy. She's easy to read. She's easy to follow.
Okay.
And
because you could probably give a hand signal at this point.
Oh,
yeah. Give me some more.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because me and my regular drummer, Dave Axon, we always joke because I got, what do I do? There's one, and now I say it, people that see my show, when I do like a heel kick, that means I don't want anything else being played but the kick drum. And it's like,
okay.
And it was one of those that just kind of happened that way.
It's almost like your brain told your foot.
Yeah, and it was just like one of those things.
Yeah.
And so now that's like, if like there was an Ivy Ford band manual, like that's in it. Ivy kicks, you kick the drum and that's it.
Everyone else stop.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I'm known to being, easy to follow. And I've played as a sideman for other band leaders that are, big,
so you probably
big
know
wigs,
more
and
so,
they're pain in the butts to play for because they are the worst. They won't tell you nothing, and then get mad at you when you're like, I don't know what we were playing. You didn't tell me what we were playing. So yeah.
So that's sorry for the world. Her chair just fell. I don't know what happened.
Right. It's okay.
We're good.
It's just me. I'm excited. So yeah. But yeah,
it's so interesting too because you've done the backup and the lead.
Yeah,
it's probably awesome for someone when you lead because you know both sides of that coin.
Exactly. I tell people to do that too. I'm like, if you want to lead a band, I said play for someone else.
Pass along
because it'll teach you either what to do or what not to do.
Yep.
And
that's great,
man.
And it's almost great advice for any human. Like, if you walk in a room and no one else has a plan, make yours.
Yeah.
Because that's what I try to tell our team all the time. Is
sure.
If you're a photographer going to an event to take pictures or write an article or do a video, 9 times out of 10, when you walk in the room, your plan gets literally thrown in the trash because something has changed because it's an event and that's how it works.
That's how it is.
everyone's going to look to you as the kind of editorial person in the room.
What do we do?
To figure it out.
And you can't be like, I don't know, what do we do?
Yep. And then you get to control the situation as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And say, well, actually, I need you here and you
right.
here.
And I mean, and tact is everything. You don't want to be a jerk
course,
about
you
it.
be classy.
But, right. But be assertive. There's nothing wrong with being assertive.
Exactly.
And don't let people, I've had this, not so much now, but as a kid. And it's funny because, like, in hindsight, me and my mom talk about this. I had a few incidences in, like, grade school, junior high, with, like, administrative people and, like, helicopter parents talking to them. So I was in a show. I think I was in 6th grade. I was in a musical. Only, like, younger person that got, like, a lead role. Because I liked it.
You're going
I go,
for
no
it.
fear, let's do it. Long story short, there was another kid in the cast. They got their nose out of joint. And I'll say, I'm an adult now. They weren't that good. They weren't.
Okay,
or they were, but they were just too shy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And me being like just living my best life made them the kid feel bad. So they told their parents. The parents wrote the letter to the director. The director pulled me aside. I'm like 11 years old, pulls me aside and reads me the riot act, like, because everyone's saying that I'm being a jerk and overbearing and trying to be like a know-it-all. Which is so not the case. I broke down. I was like,
I'm
just trying.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a good time. I didn't mean to hurt nobody, And
but sometimes some of those stronger personalities, people instantly take
people
it
don't
that
like
way,
that.
and you
people don't like to
have
see
no
other
intention.
people. Yeah, people don't like to see other people succeed, and usually, not all of them, but usually if someone has a problem with you and like talent wise or whatever. It has nothing to do with you. It's really them. They just got, issues. But yeah, so I learned that lesson real quick at like 11 or 12.
No kidding.
I was like, okay. And I remember after I had that little talk down, I was like, all right. I was like, a little butthurt about it for like a day. And then when it came for like show week, and I was like, nah, I'm doing me. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You might not like it, and I understand that. And
but
I can
that's
definitely understand that, but
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and be me anyway.
Right. And then it's funny because as an adult, I've had a few, in entertainment-wise, I've had one or two situations where it's been like people have been hired like for shows or like reviews. And like, hey, this is actually verbatim. We want you to bring Ivy Ford to the show because we'd love to, everyone's going to love you. Which not sound, of course they're going to love me because I love myself and I love you and we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Who would,
everyone's loving everyone.
Right.
This is a fantastic thing.
And so they'll be like, we want you, this and that, Ivy Ford, whatever. But like, don't bring so much of Ivy Ford. And it's not because, don't bring so much because you're obnoxious. It's don't bring so much because it's going to make everyone else look bad. So instead of everyone else raising their bar,
supposed to underperform.
why don't you, thank you. And I'm like, I didn't take those gigs. I'm like, why would I dim my light to make, no. Why am I bringing myself? Y'all just need to come up.
Yep. Then I would say you've got a couple weeks to work a little bit
Exactly. And that's like my first full original album, Time to Shine, the title track. It's Time to Shine.
Right now.
Right. Time to shine. Don't let nobody do you dim. And that's that's where it came from. And I'm all about like, don't, and I say, when we play that song, and I say, I'm like, look, I said, I've had some things in my life where people want to, try and make you feel bad to make themselves feel better. I said, it's hard enough trying to like make yourself happy just with yourself. Yeah. And like, we're our worst critic anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you even have like a sliver of something that makes you happy and feels good and it's not hurting anyone else, don't let no one else tell you don't do that. Yeah. Shame on them.
Yeah,
that's not nice.
Exactly. You're not being
So be nice. Don't be mean.
Just be kind.
Yeah. I'm all about it. So
yes. I completely agree. Yeah. So started performing literally at the age of 13. You're still, as I mentioned earlier, super young.
Funny. My first talent show, I was 5 years old. I sang Britney Spears. I had the bug then. I was like,
do we have a video of this somewhere?
Oh my! I need to find it. I do. You know what? I do.
Interwebs. It's gotta be somewhere.
Yeah. I was 5 years old. I did the school talent show. I sang. What did I sing? I sang "Hit Me, Baby" one more time.
Of course you did.
Because Killed it. That was my jam.
You were 5. That was like.
And that was when that was the time too where like you hit. Like, what was it, like A to Z lyrics and stuff wasn't a thing. So you had to listen and stop the cassette.
Oh, yeah. There's no finding that.
No, exactly.
No.
And it was funny because the talent show got done. They're like, all right, parents, boys and girls, the community has this talent show during the summer. If your kids want to do that. As soon as I heard that, I went to mom. I was like, Mom, I'm doing the talent show. I'm doing that one, the big one. I'm doing the big one. That's it. And she was like, okay. let's do it, But yeah, 5 years old. And
it never stopped from there.
When people ask me, when did you know that you wanted to, how did you know you wanted to do music or whatever? I was like 5 years old, Britney Spears.
Done and
boom.
done.
I never looked back.
And literally haven't looked back.
No.
How incredible.
Yeah.
So now you're 28.
Yeah.
You've got a daughter, I believe.
I do. She'll be 4 in a couple weeks. Oh, man.
And you've been in music so long. How do you, and maybe you don't have to, how do you balance it all? Do you do kind of like your mom did? Like, let's bring those two worlds together?
Oh, yeah.
How
absolutely.
do you figure all that out? How do you balance your life? How do you,
right.
Tell me about that.
First of all, it takes a village. And I have a very good village. Like I said, me and my mom are extremely, extremely close. She's extremely supportive with my music career, being a grandma. That's her only grandbaby. So it's really not my baby. Better. It's hers, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's very, very supportive. When I was, so I actually played, when I was pregnant with my daughter, my last show, we played a show at Navy Pier. There's a picture of me taking like a selfie. And like, you look at that, I look at it, I'm like, no wonder people thought I was crazy. Because I looked like the baby was going to drop right then. But anyways, and then 2 weeks later, I had my daughter. And then she was like maybe 3 weeks old. And we were back on the road in Rockford doing a festival. So there was really never, when people say, oh, you going to take some time off? I was like, no, man. I'm going. Let me just go. If I stop, I'll drop. So let's just keep going.
Keep it going.
And so it helps a lot with my mom. She's helps a whole lot. And she's an artist, so she makes her own schedule and has, is real flexible. And then my daughter's father is we co-parent we co-parent better now that we're like not together than we did. But it's funny how that works.
That one common goal, and that's really all you gotta
exactly. Yeah. So that works out really well. And summertime and things like that, family friendly things. Vivian, my daughter, she comes with me.
Oh, I love that.
And it's funny because when I was pregnant with her, people were like, "Do you think she wants to do music?" And I said, "I don't know. If she wants to be," because actually her dad, my ex-husband, he is from Johnsburg, Illinois, which other than trades guys, they breed a lot of like MMA fighters. And his really good friend is Clay Guida, the big UFC fighter. Okay. So like we're really big into that. So I would joke and say, well, if she wants to be a fighter, she can do that. But if she wants to do music, whatever.
That's
whatever.
Cool too. Yeah.
I think she's going to do music. I think, yeah.
She's already into it. She's going
to try and steal my job. Oh, yeah. She knows what a gig is. She knows.
I'm going to wait 10 years and I want you guys to perform together.
Oh, yeah. I had her. Where did I have her? I had her a couple weeks ago. She came. I said, you want to come and sing with Mom? She said, no. I said, why are you being shy? No, I don't want to come and sing. I was like, fine. 5 minutes later, she comes over on stage. Can I come sit next to you and hold the microphone? I said, yeah, come on. Let's do it. So
I love it so much.
She's got 2 guitars of her own already. Nuts.
Oh, music for sure.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Going for
she has full access to anything and everything. So
phenomenal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about your age. We've talked about how young you are and how much experience you have had. It is absolutely amazing at such a young age.
I've seen some things.
You have. Tell me some significant or important barriers that you've had to overcome. I mean, there's probably a zillion as far as like women in blues and young in music and all
those
of
are
those
the 2
things.
biggest ones. My age, I would say age even more. Well, age and being, I'm not even going to say what, like being a chick, because the age thing doesn't, maybe not, it's a little different because people know I've had a kid. So like they know
it's almost like
woman.
Forces you into adulthood.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely age is the biggest thing. Age for sure.
And how do you deal with it? What do you do?
Man, I just be like, fine, you can laugh at me, but I'm the one that's going to be running this thing. So fine, proof is in the pudding. For the most,
and you can probably now you can point back to. Did you see what I've done?
Right. I mean, for the most part, kind of getting back to like talking about like people that want to talk poorly about you or whatever. It's really because they got their own issues. Not that I don't care about what other people think. Obviously, you can't help it. We're human. But my bigger priorities is doing me and
care about what you have to care about, but not
right. Yeah. So I think I either get that mindset, or I'm like, you think I can't do it? Watch me. What? So I'll use it like as fuel.
Same.
It turns me on like a mug.
Me
when
too.
people think, especially like now it's a little different because I like people do know me and like in my peers professionally. They like, I've used the real deal. Like she's professional, or like I've gotten to work with her, or, but before when I'd like walk in places or whatever, like, oh, who's this kid? Who's this girl? You're gonna find out. You're gonna learn today who it is.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love people sometimes not knowing who I am or like really my capacity.
Yes.
Like, ooh.
Oh, you have no clue.
Yeah.
Watch, I'm gonna blow your socks off.
Or that's like when folks say, and it's very cute, it's very humbling. Like, I feel bad. I've never heard, like when I do festivals or things like that. Like, I've never heard of you. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. I said, you're not gonna forget though now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna know me now.
Ready. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the age and the gender thing. Definitely think age more so than being a woman. And I, at the end of the day, I just keep doing me.
Keep pushing forward. Yeah. And like you said, like that question of who you are and what you can do hits the gas pedal.
It sure as heck does. There's sometimes you're like, man, ain't that about it? Man, why are these people sleeping on me? They're sleeping. Do they realize? And I want to be like, do you realize who I am? Because that's like super arrogant and conceited. And it's not that. It's just like, did you just see what I did?
I have done this. Yeah.
Do I have to like set myself on fire or something?
Yeah.
Because I probably could do it.
So if you missed it.
Yeah, So now on the rare occasion that something like that is to the point where it's like so obvious that they're really kind of belittling or underestimating me. If it gets that bad, every once in a while, especially if like I'm like out on a night off, like shooting the breeze with a couple drinks. Ooh, don't get me started. But it's all in good fun. And I get out my system, and then it's over with, and back to work.
Yes,
back to work,
because that's what keeps them.
That's what it is.
Keeps them talking.
Yeah. Commotion's promotion. That's that.
That's true, actually.
Yeah,
that's a really great
it
point.
is.
That's a really.
You don't want to have too much. I'm not talking like illegal like, commotion. You don't want that because that gets expensive.
People talking. They're still talking.
Yeah,
and it's just even if it's a little doubt.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Then when you show them, it's twice as good.
I love it. It tickles me so. That's like the little things in life.
Yes.
Those are the little things. They make me laugh.
Yes. JB Ritchie.
Yeah.
Took you under his wing.
I used to call him my wing. You see old Facebook posts where I'm like, me and my wing.
Aww.
Yeah. Best friend. Yeah, we're best friends. He gets on my nerves, though.
And you mentioned
he knows it. I'll tell him, too. I'll be like, you...
It's like the best friends that occasionally want to punch each other.
Absolutely. So, so it's funny because like on the rare occasion, because now he don't play out no more. But, and so we don't see each other as much as we used to be like together every day, whether it was gigs on the road. We used to be neighbors, so we'd like, Mondays, let's go to lunch, shoot the breeze. So it's funny though, because like people that know us, they know me. I'll talk smack about him all the time, and I'll tell folks, I'm like, it's okay though, because I tell him this too. Like it's not like I'm talking.
I'll say it to his face. I say that all the time.
He already knows this.
If I say something to somebody about you, just know that I've already said it to you. So
it's with love. So,
yes.
But yes, definitely he took me under his wing. That was my guy for sure, and got to be his bass player for about 2-3 years straight. It's got to be so incredible
to have someone like that. It doesn't matter gender. I don't care who they are.
Oh yeah,
but someone that's so deep into what you want to do.
Yeah, and the stories and the experience, man.
And it sounds like when you mentioned it earlier, it sounds like it's almost a natural happening.
Absolutely,
like it was very much like this chance thing. He said, what this thing, and you're like, I'm in.
Let's do it. Yeah, and it's kind of...
It takes a lot of guts to do that, too, on your end, though,
well,
too.
I told you I was drinking.
Right Fear-free, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny because we, even on stage and off stage, and people would see this, him and I, like, we could have a whole conversation and it was really sometimes a little freakish, like almost psychotic, like the same person in a lot of ways, which is why we worked together so well. And like I said, we spent so much time together. I'm surprised we didn't kill each other because there's some things we're polar opposites on, and there's other things we see eye to eye, and then there's a gray area.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, probably one of my best friends for sure. Oh, for sure.
I love that so much. And it sounds, our founder, Chris, it reminds me of a very similar situation. Number one, because we're both similar people, and we're both, if you tell me no, that's why we exist as a company, is because someone told him that a website or a media company based around good news would never work. And so he was like,
watch it.
Hold my beer.
Watch. Yeah, exactly. Let's do it.
Exactly. And same thing. We are so similar as people.
Yeah.
I'm his right hand. He kind of similarly adopted me as soon as I came into the company. Like,
Right.
I like you. We think alike. This is going to work
It's
out.
good to be around like-minded people in whatever
really
you do. Because again, it's so easy to. It just is what it is. Be around a lot of naysayers or whatever.
And if you're going to be the average of the 5 you hang out with the most, make them good.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a huge thing to be around like-minded people and surround yourself with that. Because if not, it can cloud up. It can.
And people then, if they're so
it can be like emotional vampires,
Yeah,
and then you wonder why you're feeling cruddy.
And then you almost feel like you're weird or crazy because of the way you think,
Right?
the way that you
Yeah,
are, and it's
yeah.
like, no, I'm different than you.
It's
That's
okay
not
to
bad.
be you. If you ain't
Yeah.
hurt nobody, just be you.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
So you've said a couple times. You said your mom said it, and you said, "Have no fear."
Yeah.
I would assume you got that probably from your mom. How do you
yeah.
guys develop that? How do you, even to this day, I speak on a lot of stages for this job and what we do here. I'm very out. I have a zillion of too many pictures on my, online of me, all of those things.
Yeah.
I have grown that in myself, but I still don't have it to the point I think you and what you say of your mom have. How do you have that? And how do you, is there a way to grow that no fear, no fear is a big thing. I think it's really important. And I want to,
I'm trying to think.
And maybe you don't even know, maybe it's just natural, but it seems very prevalent.
I think a big thing, and again, this, like, for me, it applies to being a musician, performer, et cetera, et cetera. But it can be applied to whatever in life. I think a lot of people have a hard time figuring out like what it is they want to be when they grow up. Mm-hmm. Like, what do I want to do? Who I want to be? And sometimes it's a struggle because, your upbringing, maybe, it's your family, but you can love your family and not always like them or not, always fit with them. So that can be an obstacle. Society is an obstacle, depending. And so that can be really intimidating, I think, to feel confident enough to like figure out what is it you want to do or who you want to be. I'm very fortunate, getting back to 5 years old, Britney Spears. That's me.
Yes.
I always knew, like, I tell people right away, I'm like, I'm very lucky that I don't remember a time I didn't know that
was your life. That was music was your future.
Right.
That's how you had to do it.
Exactly. In whatever capacity that it was. So like that in itself, it was a big,
at 5 years old, even kind of having the cojones to get up and say.
That is funny because but again, even then I'm like, there was no other option.
Like, and it's funny there wasn't because a second thought in your brain.
I think, like, obviously I have the same brain. This could get weird. No, I have the same brain, but like, I think about my 5-year-old self and like my 28-year-old self now. It's like, it really is the same. Obviously it's the same person, but it's funny because I do look then and I'm like, yeah, I was thinking how I think now in a lot of ways at 5, which I'll admit, I'm not like I'm all about do what you gotta do, believe what you gotta believe and it makes you a better person, do it. So, but I'm not necessarily very conventional when it comes to like faith and religion or spirit, whatever works for you. But I will admit, I think to have that again, like at 5 or 4 or 5, to know that there's got to be some bigger powers out there
I feel like that was a sign.
Yeah. So
at 5, I think you were set from day one.
Yeah. And that's just something that can't, it can't be explained.
That's got to be within you.
Right. So, one, knowing that definitely helps because then when you know what you want to do and who you want to be and really accept that, then your only priorities and your motivation is what do I have to do to nurture, enhance, grow that. And then when you have, I think, at least for me, having that mindset, everything else, whether it's, a little scary or nerve-wracking or whatever, yeah, it can be, but that's those nerves or whatever are so minimal compared to like the big picture of your goals. So
you can almost put it on the back burner because
because you got to do it. Like that's it. Just
at 5, you weren't saying
it is
I'm
what
nervous
it is
about the talent
because I got to do. Why do I have to do this? Because
yes.
I want to get that done, and this is who I am. So in order to have that, I got to do this. There's no other option.
This is the next rung in the ladder.
This is it's kind of like when people say, they're like, "Oh, you're so great. Never stop doing this." And I'm like, there ain't no other option. This is it. You know, like don't get me wrong. I had day jobs and conventional for a minute. And actually, it's funny because in my last job that I had, I was actually kind of somewhat like have a big wig in the kitchen for a big catering company. I love my job. I love food. I love to cook. I'm all about it. And my boss, he since has passed away, but my boss, who was actually like a family friend, it actually, now I think about it, another big inspiration as far as knowing what you want to do and building yourself up. He came from very, very little means and very negative upbringing, and he completely flipped it and made something for himself.
And the effort and the mental capacity it takes to do something like that is huge.
Exactly. So, and he was one of like my biggest fans. That was the last job I had. And when I said, look, I can't be doing this anymore because I'm burning the candle at both ends, and it's either this or music. One's got to go, and you know which one's staying. And
was he right? I would assume fully understood.
All the time. Well, it was funny because we would do events and things, and I'd be like staff. He'd be like, if you need something and you can't get a hold of me, get Ivy, because she's like, she knows everything. She helps me out. But she's a musician. She's just doing me a favor. Like, she's really,
don't be calling her at 9 o'clock at night. She is playing.
Yeah, exactly. Which again, it was nice to be, and that just kind of happened being around somewhat like-minded people. And being, having a good supportive village. I mean, my aspirations weren't to like be a chef, but
and I'm sure he knew that.
Right. But our like-mindedness of having a great work ethic, dedicated, and having a goal and wanting to make it happen through thick and thin and late nights or hard work, So yeah, I think the first step is finding out who you are, what you want to do, who you want to be, and really being okay with the acceptance. That can be scary. Some people get afraid of them. It's like, oh my God, I like this. Is this me? Am I allowed? You are,
Yeah.
Yeah, because if honestly,
you love it and it's not illegal, go.
Right, because honestly, when you have that, I think in a lot of ways everything else will follow. It sounds like a weird fortune cookie, but it's very true. And
it's almost like that decision lays the path.
Absolutely.
For you.
Yeah, and then everything else is just either it's everything else is white noise that you need to block out, or it's a little obstacle that doesn't outweigh the big goal. So if you may I want to be like a public speaker, but I'm nervous in front of people. If you really want to be a public speaker, you're going to make that happen.
You're going to figure it out.
And
and no matter what anybody says or anything else, you're going to figure it out.
Exactly. And I don't think I've ever had, because people ask me sometimes like, oh, do you ever get nervous playing? I was like, well, no, I do it so often. Like, no,
almost no,
because it's that's who I am. It's who I am.
It's
getting So you shouldn't be nervous about who you are.
You're just going to get out there and show people who you are.
And if you are nervous or uncomfortable and kind of have that, internal maybe conflict, something's got to give. And if you know that who you are is really who you are, then all that BS and everything else, that'll go away, you know?
And it doesn't mean that you might not have that butterfly in your stomach, but internally that
you don't get me wrong. There's a great quote. It's been used a lot where it's like, if something, what is it?
Yeah, if something doesn't make you,
if something doesnto scare you a little bit and makes you excited at the same time, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yes.
I had 2 years ago, I got my first chance to do an international thing, which was go up to Canada with my band and do a festival up there. And we had the one gig up in Canada, but I was like, we can't just be going just for the one gig. And that's where my hustle comes in. So then I made a little mini tour on the way up there. My mom was born here but raised in Norway, so I'm I've been to Norway a few times and kind of international that way, but I had never done anything like that for my career. So figuring out all the rules and laws as far as crossing borders with gear to Canada. Believe you me, it's a little dicey.
Especially if you're a band. They're going to literally, you're getting your whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was that was a huge, overwhelming obstacle that I had to consider.
You're going to get stereotyped a little bit. It's going to be hard.
It is what it is. And I'm not, stereotypes are stereotypes because they're usually somewhat true. But
they start from somewhere.
So I already had my passport at the time. My drummer Dave, which is funny because his wife works for an airline and is international all the time. He had never had a passport. And I'm like, how does this happen? So he had never had a passport. My bass player probably did, but this was a huge endeavor.
Yeah.
And when I first got the call and said, committed and got the contracts, and I was like, yeah, we're doing it. Then after the dust settled a little bit, I was like, oh man, we're doing it. Okay. Whoa. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a little nervous, I was anxious and excited because it was such a new,
all new
huge,
and
it was wild. And, but at the same time, I was like, well, it's gotta be, we're doing it. I said, we're doing it. So we're doing it. So I better get over all the butterflies I got, because I got to take care of business. And it ended up being so awesome. And I did have some obstacles. We were going to travel all together as a band with a trailer that I got, paperwork and customs and things that work out. So I was like, I don't want to get there and not be able to do the show.
Yeah.
So some plans that changed, and getting in and out. I don't know what was more nerve-wracking, getting into Canada or getting out, because I've heard horror stories on both ends.
Yes.
When I went into Canada, it was funny because they pulled me aside, and at the time I had a new Tahoe. No tinted window. You could see all my stuff. They pulled me aside. Meanwhile, my drummer and my bass player are riding like in a conversion van with no windows. Talk about looking sketch. They let them right through, and they pulled me aside. And they were like, "Have you ever been arrested? What are you doing here? Blah blah blah." I'm like, wow. I don't know. I don't think I'm in trouble, but I'm starting to feel now like maybe I am.
What did I do? Yeah,
exactly. And then when we came out, when we were coming back, it was funny because I pulled up and the Border Patrol, they were like. They said, what were you doing in Canada? I said, look, I'm a musician. And they're like, oh, what do you play? I was like, I'm a blues musician. And he said, what kind of blues? And I thought the dude was yanking my chain. But then it was funny. Because I was like, I looked at him like, what do you mean? What kind of blues? What do you mean? And so I paused and he goes, well, like Muddy Waters or Howlin' Wolf? I was like, oh my gosh.
You know blues a little.
Yeah. And then I said, exactly. I said, I actually play a Buddy Guys. I said, actually, see that guitar case, which actually looks like, at that time, it was a gig bag that kind of looks like a rifle case. They could go, change. And I said, actually, I got a Buddy Guy guitar in the back. You want to see it? And he's like, no, I shouldn't. Actually, there's people behind you. Yeah. And so it ended up, and then again, that was like the universe was talking to, like, you're doing the right thing. Here I was somewhat nervous, rightfully so,
of course,
about the whole trip. And then coming out, that kind of sealed the deal of like, no, that we did this and you did it.
And on the way out, you got full acceptance.
That's what I mean.
Excitement from someone you've never met before, which has to be incredible.
And it was fun. I was nervous, man. He said, what kind of blues? I'm like, oh, Lordy. Oh, man, they're going to take me away. But I did. I was super nervous. I even had, when I went in, it was funny because I didn't know how, like, food, beverage, and, like, cigarettes, because I smoke cigarettes. So it was funny because when I went in, I got to the board, like, do you have anything with you? I was like, I have a cooler with 2 Gatorades that are sealed. And I have 2 packs of Marble Red shorts, but I didn't open them. I bought them at the gas station before we got here, but they're sealed. There's nothing in them. You want to see them? And I was probably like overly,
where they're like, okay, what is happening?
Like, just go, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I probably looked guilty because like I said, I had heard horror stories. I had heard about musicians going up there and then coming back and they wouldn't let them bring their gear back because they didn't have, like, I forget
some sort of permit or something?
Registration to make sure that you didn't steal.
Wow.
Who the heck has receipts for our gear these days?
Literally no one.
But they would, it was a potential. I mean, I guess if you got it, someone having a bad day at the gate, they'd be like, oh, I don't like you today. I don't like anyone. We're going to hold you up.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, know what you want to do. And I think if you accept that and are true to that, and allow, like, that organicness with yourself, you'd be surprised about the things that you can do when one, you're not trying to make a fool out of yourself, and 2, you're doing something that, like, feels right.
Yeah, full acceptance.
You can do a lot, man.
Love.
You can do a lot. Yeah.
So outside, obviously, number 1 favorite show would be opening for Buddy.
Oh man, yes.
Tell me of, like, one of your most recent favorite shows. So
it was very recent. It was 2 weeks ago. Me and the guys did the Northwoods Blues Festival, which is in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, which is about an hour 20 south of St. Paul, Minnesota. And it was great for a lot of reasons. One, it was like one of the first big festivals for anyone since COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
The weather was gorgeous. So that was always nice. The scenery was beautiful. It was funny because actually I was going to drive up there on my own, but the day before I had my own car troubles. I was like, really? Oh, well, it's showbiz. Let's change up the plans.
As it will. Yes.
Yeah. So there was that. And then the other bands, actually all the bands that were on that festival for both days were amazing and good friends of mine. And the one band that was actually right after us, the Cashbox Kings, they're from Chicago, and I hadn't seen a lot of them guys in like a year. Wow. So that was amazing. And
so it's like that rebirth of like, we're finally getting back out. And
man, we're like fish in a fishbowl. Like, yes, yeah, it's amazing. And, but it was, I was so pumped. I had bought a new flower romper with matching flowers in my hair. I was like, living my best life too.
Full festival look.
Yes. And we played our butts off, and the audience was so accepting. There was a lot of cats out there that they had been following me for years, and again hadn't seen them in a while, so that was fans and stuff. So that was neat. I did my little, it's out there. I posted yesterday, I think, my little shtick great shot where I did like a backbend thing when I'm playing guitar. Nuts. I don't know.
Some of the pictures that I've seen of you online, like jumping so high with
that one in Memphis, that one picture, even when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, did I do that?
I don't know how you didn't break your ankle.
I don't know. Adrenaline inside.
Giant heels, jumping up, playing guitar.
It was wild
while singing. I don't know how you do it.
Incredible. I don't know.
It just happened, and then someone got a picture of it.
Right. But yeah. So my most recent favorite show was Northwoods Blues Fest, Chippewa Falls.
Okay.
And which was what day is it? I think it was 2 weekends ago.
Okay.
We were up there.
Got it.
And June 20th, I think. No, I lied. June 18th.
Okay.
That's what it was. June 18th. We play on the Friday. So yeah, that was like one for the books.
Loved
it. It was amazing. Amazing. Like I said, like all the weather was gorgeous. The ride up there was perfect. The hotel was great. We played our butts off. The food was even better. It was like, and then we had 2 or 3 more shows after that. So it was like, yes, living our best life.
Getting back at it, yes.
Yeah. So that, and it was funny because if there's videos of it, I kept saying, I was like, you guys on the microphone, you see the smile on my face? Oh, it feels so good. And it was sincere.
It's real.
I wasn't even drinking then either. That was just pure, like.
Actual pure joy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So let's look forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the time this comes out, first Sunday in August, just to make every person that listens to this ready for August, do you have some fun upcoming shows where if they've not heard of you, can they? And how can they?
Yeah, so let's see. Where
are you going to be in August?
We're going to be, actually the first Sunday in August, we'll be ending actually like a tour out in Iowa that week at Gypsy Highway in Davenport, Iowa, outdoors. The owner, he's a huge blues fan, and I've been playing there now for a couple years. He had heard about me in Chicago. Him and his buddies, they like take their Harleys and stuff out to Chicago in the summertime. So I think it's August 1st. We'll be at Gypsy Highway in Davenport, Iowa, and then the following weekend will actually be in Chicago at Untitled Supper Club.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and
get out there, go get your tickets.
Yeah, and then we're pretty much rocking and rolling every weekend through October. Actually, wow. Yeah. And so I always tell people, because I'll post things or whatever, but my website, ivyfordmusic.com, under shows, that's like gospel. So anything that's up there is
that's where
for
we can
real.
Go look for all the upcoming.
So you can see all my shows on my website there. I also have a tab on there like where I've done like other interviews or videos and things like that over the years. And then I also have like my like merch store.
Merch. She's got a new tank top. Did you bring me one? I did. I want to buy one today because it is. I love this tank. It's super great.
I did too.
I love it. You said we've got ladies sizes, men's sizes,
and big love sizes. Shout out to I got big love from another good blues friend of mine. His name's Kevin B.F. Burt. He's from Iowa.
Okay.
And he actually won the solo first place solo at the International Blues Challenge down in Memphis 3 years ago now. Oh man, 3 years ago.
Wow.
And I believe he's from Waterloo, Iowa, maybe, or I think so. Anyways, fantastic musician.
Ugh.
Him and his wife Nicole, beautiful people. And I got that big love, as they use it, because he's a big guy. He's like a big teddy bear. So whenever we hit each other up on Facebook or whatever, it was like, hey, big love, or whatever, So
I love it.
Big
So
love sizes. Yes.
Check out the future shows and check out the new merch.
Yeah, I think I even have like my Instagram linked on my website too, so you can see all my pictures of my daughter. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the infamous jump we discussed.
And the jump. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And another one I saw online recently.
Oh boy, what did you see?
Shocked as heck.
What?
You roller skating.
Oh my God.
Listen,
I
am
effing
clumsy,
love roller
infamously
skating.
Clumsy. So for me, seeing you roller
They're in my
skate,
car right now. They come everywhere with me.
So like I was literally, it was one of the questions on here that I was like, oh, I'll ask that at some point. Like, you roller skate. What do you not do?
I don't play harmonica. I don't. It was just funny because like for a blues person, I've tried. It's usually after a few,
trying to learn harmonica
few
too.
shots,
Very,
and
very
I don't mean photos, and I don't even think I sound good after that. I don't. I have a couple good friends that are great harmonica players. One is he's not like a professional, but very good friend of mine. His name is Eric Wilcox. For instance, when I got married, I didn't have bridesmaids. I had him and my brother stand up. So like that's how tight we are.
Love it.
He's a great harmonica player and a blues buff. And then like I was saying earlier, my friend Jerry Hunt, who's a fantastic guitar player.
And he's pretty
blues
local,
guy.
so a lot of people.
Yeah, he's local.
It's
It's funny because actually a couple weeks ago I messaged him. I was like, I don't really like harmonica, which I really. I said, but you're all right. He was like, thank you. I know what you mean with things. So he's a great, there's one or two more harmonica
there's
players.
the infamous Blues Traveler. I think that's how everybody knows. We actually just interviewed the keyboardist from Blues Travelers the other day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But I think that's how like harmonica came into like
mainstream. Yeah.
But when you listen to harmonica in the blues world or in like kind of that
there's not a lot of it's
amazing.
Most harmonica players I know, and they might I've said this to them too. Most harmonica players that I see out, they're usually really obnoxious. I'm sorry, they usually are because they like want to fill every little nook and cranny. But that goes the same for guitar players though too. There's a lot of obnoxious guitar players.
Oh yeah,
because they just want to overplay. Like, calm down, be quiet. Shh.
We're a band as a whole. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do not play harmonica.
You do skate, you don't harmonica.
I don't harmonica.
Fair.
But I love skating though. That's
I love this. Oh my gosh. Seeing the video, I was like, she's literally just skating around like it's no problem.
Yeah, it was funny because it started my brother and his girlfriend, they would go to a rink on Wednesdays. It was like, it's cheap skate night, literally. Out by us, and like, you want to come out? I was like, sure, whatever. And I was like, hey, I like this.
I love it,
and so we go like every week, and I said, I should get my own skates because this is my thing. So I did, and like now I got custom laces.
Do they say Ivy Ford on them or
something?
something?
Oh my gosh, no! I should. I need to get some
new merch.
Now I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working on getting another pair. So I got like an indoor pair and then like an outdoor one.
If you get
maybe I could get like some light up wheels that say.
I'm buying them as well, but not for my skates because no one wants me to do that.
And your sneakers. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. See.
I want to be the first to purchase when you do it.
Oh, yes.
Just let me be the first to purchase.
That's why. Yeah, no, you got it. But yeah, no, I do love to roller skate. I really do. It's
okay,
wild.
I'm going to do this. Are you ready for this part?
Oh, I don't know.
Speed round.
Ooh, boy, wait. Okay. Hold on.
Look, I wish I would have saved my can crash for right now.
Yeah, speed round. You tap them papers. Are you ready? I'm like, I don't know. Am I ready for... like, first thing that comes to my... This could get interesting. This could get... Okay, wait. Okay, what are the rules?
Rules are... just answer as fast as possible. Okay. I say it every time. I need a buzzer. Maybe that's a new merch item too, is a buzzer of some sort.
Or like a bell, like a hotel bell.
Ding,
bing. Yeah.
Bzz, something. But answer as fast as possible. That's really all. The rules are, I'm not a huge stickler for rules, so you'll be fine.
This is going to be hysterical. Okay.
So... and these are just rando questions that will help our audience kind of gain a little bit of insight into you as a person if we don't know already.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm ready.
All right, number 1. How long do you sit at a green light before you honk at the person in front of you?
Not at all, man. Green means go, not think about it.
1 second, go.
Go. Now, Wisconsin traffic lights, as soon as the other one, red light, green light, as soon as they switch like the same time.
Right.
So like in Illinois and stuff.
There's no yellow?
But it's just
really fast.
But they switch them. It's
like that red to the green.
Like in Wisconsin, you have to, even though you got a green light, you need to look to make sure everyone else stopped because they switch at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so no time at all.
Results now. Go. Green means go.
Love it.
Yeah.
What woman would you most want to have a drink with, living or dead, and what would the drink be?
Oh my, I don't know why, but like Cher popped in my head.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And like just a bottle of whatever spirits.
It's got to be boozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care what.
Like not wine,
I don't
but
even,
like spirits for sure.
Spirit. Yeah.
Okay.
Liquor, spirits.
I just had recently
Ice is
Kelsey
optional.
Whittington on to the podcast. She's a
Oh,
local PR guru. She's fantastic. And I asked her that. You know what her first one? This is one of my favorite answers so far. She said Oprah, which is a good answer, but not like
to be drinking.
Crazy.
I don't know.
And you know what she said? She said, and we take a shot of vodka because we got business to get to.
That's
and
hysterical.
I was like, okay.
That's funny. You see, you know what's funny is that like vodka is people that know me. Vodka is my drink of choice.
Okay.
Like and my mom's Norwegian, Scandinavian, so it definitely I drink it on the rocks with a lime if I'm feeling fancy. So when I'm out like playing, I'd be like, let me get you a drink. They're like, what you drinking? Vodka. And what? Ice. Oh. Yeah.
A lime if you're fancy.
Lime
yeah,
if you're, I don't like lemon. See, that's lime. Yeah.
Okay. I could do that with tequila, but I don't think
I don't like tequila. Well, I mean, I can like anything after a while, but
I don't how many vodkas
right, the only thing that I like it, but it gets a little weird. And every time I mention this, my bandmates Dave Axon, my drummer, and Willie Roush, my bass player, I'm always like, it's funny because for a blues player, I don't drink whiskey, the dark liquor. And then, okay, I can say it because it is usually, and this would come to my other half, usually like African Americans, we're all about like, Hennessy, VO, stuff like that. Would you think I don't do it.
No.
It gets wild. I either get really...
And they're over here, they're shaking their head like, I remember that time.
And it's funny because Dave would be like, don't give it to her.
I've got
These
stories,
are going to get weird. Because I either get like super... I'm not gonna say amorous because that makes it sound like it's gonna be a fun night. It's not like it's like amorous, like, oh, let's just cuddle. I just want to just hug me.
And everyone's like, why are you on my arm?
Pretty much. That or I'm like, I love you guys. I like get emotional. So
okay.
Clear.
I have a friend, red wine makes her cry no matter what. Yeah, I get
red wine gives me heartburn. So yeah.
Okay.
So vodka, gin, any clear spirit, Rumplemans, that's also my jam too. 100 proof. Makes the if
you're gonna go right, yeah.
It's sticky as a mug though. You
Smells
don't want
great and does the job.
Yeah. So clear spirits, I drink clear because it keeps me in the clear.
Okay, love that. See, another point of advice from Ivy Ford.
Yeah, see, we learn something new every day. Maybe, but like everyone knows, I do. I used to play at a club in Palatine, and it was funny because and I prefer Smirnoff, which a lot of people are like, oh. Really?
Yeah,
I'm like,
choice.
But yeah, I know. But it's like where I'm at, like Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin, Smirnoff is now everyone does Tito's, but Smirnoff was like my jam. And Smirnoff actually is made from corn, not potatoes. So if you have like celiac disease, I don't have celiac disease, but if you did,
it's
gluten free.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know the random stuff. But so there used to be a club in Palatine that whenever I'd go there was a bottle like Smirnoff on the shelf. And they're like, it's Ivy's.
Name on it.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Telling all my secrets. I'm sorry.
It's fantastic.
Next question,
it's my favorite.
Yeah, so anyways.
What is one big thing that you have yet to accomplish?
Going across the pond, meaning like France, England, or something like that.
Travel to Europe
to play
a show?
Yeah, I was supposed to go last year, but because of COVID, man, the vid, it dampened my plans. But I got some things in the plan, things in the works. So hopefully later this year, next year, I'll be doing that.
So excited for you.
Me too.
What would be the title of your biography? Ooh, that's a tough one. I know.
I don't even know.
That one stirs people up.
I'm thinking like what first came to mind, and literally in my head was like a book with no name on it. For real, I don't know.
I feel like it could be something, maybe it sounds corny, but something like
an autobiography
like,
or a biography that someone else wrote.
Oh, I guess that's up to you.
The plot thickens.
Ooh, yeah. Or maybe there's 2 different names, the one you wrote and the one you didn't.
Right. The one. Yeah. You know what? I think if I wrote it, it would probably be Time to Shine. Yeah. For a lot of reasons.
Yep.
That was, like I said, that was my first, my first original album.
And the reasoning behind the name of the album would speak so truly.
Yeah, so definitely, I think if I wrote it, it'd be definitely Time to Shine. I think if someone else wrote it, quite honestly, I think maybe Blues Kitten.
Blues Kitten.
And then ... I like Blues Kitten would be the first one, and then underneath, like I'm like have kerning in my head right now, like the whole graphic design. Yeah,
that's my background, so I'm here for this.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you knew what I meant. So the kerning, are we eating corn? No. Yeah. So it'd probably be like Blues Kitten, and then Ivy Ford underneath if someone else wrote it. Yeah.
Ivy grows. Let's be corny. Let's be corny.
Yeah. That was a good one, though. I had to think. And even though I was thinking, like, nothing, like, what verse comes in your head? I got nothing. That's why I'm not saying anything.
A blank book.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Cool.
What's your favorite day of the week and why?
Thursday or Friday. Because Thursdays, like, can be almost a Friday.
Yeah.
And Fridays, because it's flipping Friday. Just like Fridays.
Ugh. And it's like the kickoff to your week.
What can be wild, though, is, like, if I got a good Friday, like, a really good Friday, sometimes it can be a good thing, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, Friday was so good. Saturday, we got to make it happen. So it can be a little intimidating.
Ooh, yeah.
But Thursdays or Fridays? Probably Thursdays. Honestly, no, Thursdays. Because usually
it's like
I'm
not... excitement for the week?
Yeah, and usually when I work on Thursdays, I usually am doing like a solo thing or like a duo thing, which is a little more like unplugged. It's a lot more intimate.
Like that Element style.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I'm all about the weekend, man. Let's rock it out. But yeah, I think Thursdays. And even like when I was a kid, because Thursdays meant Friday was tomorrow. And then I can get through the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, superpowers. Would you rather have invisibility or super strength? And why?
Ooh. I feel like super strength because I don't need to hide from no one. Yeah, I think super strength because this is hysterical. Because I it's a lot to load in gear and think amps are heavy.
Yeah. Makes your life easier, everybody else's life
I'm not
easier.
worried about and I'm not worried about being seen. That's like I got, some friends of mine or whatever, they don't necessarily like to go out by themselves or whatever because I feel like, oh, I'm by myself or in a crowd. I feel, I don't give a crap.
Me neither.
But then consider what I do. So I can't be shy.
You can't give a crap. Yeah, like there's no way you'd be successful if that was what you wanted.
I'm not worried about being seen. Getting back to when people say, do you mind if I take a picture of your show or this, that, and the other? I'm like, no, not at all. Please do it. If I'm doing something on stage or in public that I don't want, then I shouldn't be doing it. It holds me accountable.
That. Perfect.
It's good for character, too.
And last one.
Okay.
What carnival ride do you hate the most?
Oh, the swings. The swings. The
ones that go round and round?
Yeah, because
it's a very popular one and also my answer as well.
Yeah, because not that it's funny because up until like age 14, I used to cry like on the carousel. I know, I'm really not that big of that. Yeah. So it's funny, but I did get into like the roller coaster thing after that for a minute. Still are afraid of them, but I'll do them. But the swings, they're just so high up there, like on those little strings, which is weird. It's not strings.
It feels like a string though.
So it's weird. Yeah. But more so, I get motion sickness real badly. So again, on the carousel, 2 times around, I'm like, I have to get off. I even like a park swing. I can only be on it for a little bit. And it's weird.
Like a regular swing.
Yeah, like a regular park swing. Like I'm swinging at my own pace. And if I'm on it for too long, I'm like, so like if I take Vivian, my daughter, to the park, and she's like, Mom, swings. Like, Mom has to take a break. You keep doing you. I gotta take a break. Yeah. Yeah, so the swings. I don't know. Oh. I'm a huge water ride fan though. Water rides.
Water slides, all that stuff.
I love water. I'm a Pisces, so I think that might be
why you like the
fish,
water.
Yeah. I love water.
Yep.
I love. That's like when it was funny because my my daughter's father, he's from Johnsburg, Illinois, which is, it's not really, it is near the chain of lakes. But I'm from like Waukegan, Chicago, stuff like that. So we're right on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
And so and then now he lives in Kenosha, and we're, and it was funny because I'm like, I don't like I get claustrophobic if I'm not around like the water. And he goes, well, that's kind of weird because unless you got a boat, you can't go anywhere, So at least like where I'm from, we got roads we can drive. And I'm like, I know.
But I can see.
Yeah. And I'm like, I know what you're saying makes sense. Visual. But nope, I'm claustrophobic unless I have a lake by me. So yeah. So water rides.
I don't have a boat, but if I had one or needed one, I could get one. Yeah. And here's the access to the literal rest of the world.
Yeah. So it is. And when he said that, I was like, I never thought about it. You're right. But no, you're not right. I'm right. But yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But water rides, my jam. Yeah. I want to go on one of them things. They have the Dells in different places where you can just be like on like an inner tube, and then have an inner tube like for your cooler of beverages and snacks.
Ooh,
like a lazy river run.
Yep. I'm out in Stark County, so I live by Tippecanoe River.
Okay.
And that's like a regular for people that live in that area. And even out in this area, they just go rent those and like float.
I gotta do that because like I said, I'm like near Lake Michigan, which is more like ocean Michigan.
Yeah,
and you got to respect it. You got to respect it.
You got to know your limits.
Yeah, so we don't do that too much.
Tippecanoe River, literally, like you could be drunk sideways. Yeah, and it doesn't.
I haven't been on one of those yet. Yeah,
it's super fun.
It's gonna happen
this summer. You should do it.
I'll be taking selfies. It'll be on my Instagram.
Oh my gosh, everyone follow because I want to watch this. This is going to be fantastic. I'll send you the link.
I'll be like, I'll have my roller skates. No, I can't be. Except actually, what's funny is we're the next weekend, which is the weekend after July 4th, me and my guys are actually playing a lake party in Silver Lake, Wisconsin on Silver Lake. And this is the second year we're doing it. And we literally play on a party barge. They boat us out full PA system, sound system, all that stuff. And the barge is like in kind of like the sandbank. So if you go in the water right by the stage, it comes up to your waist, and the rest is just like all boats.
And where's this at?
Silver Lake, Wisconsin, which is just a little south of Lake Geneva.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry, listeners, you're not going to get there because it's going to be passed, but I'm interested.
Right? Yeah. No, it's awesome. And then it's funny because everyone and their brother has their boats, and then there's the party barge we're like one of 3 bands. And then they actually have like a grill boat where they're literally like frying burgers and wings and things.
Oh, I love it.
Last year we played, and I made the mistake of like booking something else that same night. So we played during the day, and then they had to go. And I was like, why? So then this year when they're like, we're going to do it again, I was like, yes, I'm not booking anything else. We're playing, and then I'm staying. I'm hanging out. Give me some water. I can swim. Give me some water wings, and I'm hanging out.
I'll be here until you need me.
It's so cool, and like I bring out my daughter and stuff, and it's cool. When I did it last year, I was like, wow, we are on water.
Freaking fun, yeah.
And everything is like by generator, which is what downside is like I was kind of afraid like for stuff to fall in the water.
Yeah, like if you throw a pick, who cares? But like if you drop
my
your guitar.
Or my guitar?
Yeah.
Yes, that was a little dicey.
It's a problem. If
but it didn't happen.
Ring falls off your finger, it's gone. If you trip and fall, you're in the water.
Yeah. I can get another ring. It's fine. Another guitar amp, though. That'd be really like, oh, man.
What a bummer.
Well, But yeah. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if people have not heard, now they know more about you, how to connect with you online, and what shows you've got coming up. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you so much for doing this podcast.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me.
I fell in love with you when I saw you at Elements once.
Oh, man.
And have followed you ever since. So I am honored to have you here, and I think the audience will be too. So thanks so much, and we appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Until next time, right?
Yeah.